Hey everyone, got some footage from the Cats Hill Classic this past weekend. It's a Criterium in Los Gatos, California, and I'm going to take you through the closing 3 laps of the men's Pro 1-2 race. So cutting to the action-packed part, this whole race I was just waiting for the finish, so I haven't really done much to this point, just been sitting in. This course is fairly technical, 6 corners, and there's a hill that we're about to see coming up. The hill is very steep. I had to put out like 1,000 watts basically every time up it as a bigger guy. This is the hill we're coming into just now. This left-hand corner was basically going to dictate the experience you had on this hill every lap. If you were touching your brakes in that corner, you were going to not be having a fun time. But if you're able to carry a lot of speed, I would usually get to the inside or outside there and carry as much speed as I could up it. It made getting up that hill a lot easier. It's not very long, like less than 15 seconds, but it required a pretty good effort every lap. Once you got up to the top, it was pretty important to get a few good pedal strokes over the top so that you could get your speed back quickly. If nobody was really interested in taking it up, it would bunch up there sometimes, and it was a good spot to grab a few places, but that didn't really happen much in the closing laps, as we'll see. During the race, it happened a lot, but not so much in these closing laps. And then we're approaching the descent here. You take this right-hand corner at the top of the descent. There's a little bit of water running through the course. That was the only place where it played a factor, I would say. And then this is the descent into the final corner. And then the finish line is less than 200 meters out of the final corner. So the sprint is basically to this last corner. You're not really going to come around anyone after the last corner. And so there it is. Definitely the fastest corner on the course. It's pretty wide open though. There's a lot of room, especially on the exit. So I think the corner looked more intimidating than it actually is. So coming in to 2 to go now. The race situation is that Tobin Ortenblatt, who's a professional cyclocross racer, is off the front by himself. He has been there for most of the race, like almost from the gun. And he is still just dangling, and there's a pretty big effort at this point to bring it back, especially from Team Mike's bikes. And then there's also a lot of really strong individual riders who are trying to go across as well. And so I'm kind of relying on them to bring it back. But I know I'm a little far back for the field sprint here. You see I take a pretty good line into that corner, carry a lot of speed on the outside, got like 4 or 5 wheels back before we even hit the climb. And then this lap on the climb, I knew I needed to be trying to get spots back. And you see it slows up like just a little bit over the top here. And it's a perfect opportunity for me to slide up on the right-hand side here. You could just see Tobin like disappearing out of screen. So he's very close now. So I think the field seemed confident they would catch him, but the job still needed to be finished at this point. There's still a little bit of work left to do for the field to sprint. But the flip side to that is the field didn't want to catch him too early, because if you catch him early, you provide a good place to, spring another attack. And there's so many strong individual riders, like the Evola rider you see right in front of me, that nobody wants to let that opportunity happen. But anyways, not in a bad spot here. Find myself on teammate Jack's wheel right here, which we had wanted to try and work together at the end of this race, but the most important thing was getting over the hill on the last lap in contention. And so we're both like almost inside of the top 10 here. Could definitely stand to be a few places higher, but not in the worst spot here. And see a little bit of fighting for wheels here, and Jack decides to just go right around it, gets them both. And now we're gonna start rapidly approaching the base of the hill. Tobin is still dangling off the front. You can just see him ahead of us. And Eamon Lucas in the red here is gonna put this big attack on the right going into the hill. And he just absolutely lights it up into the hill and up this hill, and everybody is just trying to scramble to get on that. And this was the first lap where I had to go all out on the hill and was definitely struggling a little bit on it. And so I'm going to see a couple guys come past me over the top here, but I know there's still like a long fast section, so I don't mind being on wheels at this point. Got separated from Jack because I couldn't quite get up that hill, but there's going to be a little crash on the outside here. The rider in pink clips a pedal and like bucks his wheel and forces that guy to go wide into the curb. And me and this guy right in front of me, we both grab some brake so as not to be involved in that crash, but you see it lets a gap open, which is pretty much the end of the race for me, but I think we're still sprinting for top 10 here, so I'm going to keep pedaling down this hill and into the last corner, keep the speed up, and then still sprint to see where I end up at, and ended up finishing in 11th. My teammate Jack finished in 5th behind some pretty fast dudes, so all in all, not a bad result. Definitely looking forward to racing some more crits together and being able to work together a little bit more. So thanks for watching, everyone.